Well over, what's the number again? I remind myself, 350 million Americans have already been vaccinated.
With a population of 328 million people, we can finally have peace of mind knowing it's safe, because Hunter Biden's dad assured Americans there are more vaccinated people than there are people in the US. We're not sure if Dominion did the latest tally or what's responsible for the latest reality-defying uptick, but you should know you feel safer because of it. Today's other top stories. Will criticizing Fauci become a federal hate crime? Obama's super spreader event. And female prisoners are getting other female prisoners pregnant. And Texas Democrats are suing the governor over hurt feelings. But first, Senator Rand Paul became a full-blown dangerous extremist, where in this video, he is defending the Constitution and suggesting people do not need to obey unconstitutional tyranny. Take a look.
It's time for us to resist. They can't arrest all of us. They can't keep all of your kids home from school. They can't keep every government building closed, although I've got a long list of ones they might keep closed or might ought to keep closed. We don't have to accept the mandates, lockdowns, and harmful policies of the petty tyrants and bureaucrats. We can simply say no, not again. We are at a moment of truth and a crossroads. Will we allow these people to use fear and propaganda to do further harm to our society, economy, and children? Or will we stand together and say, absolutely not, not this time, I choose freedom?
Rand Paul was also overheard trying to incite violence when he said the following dangerous statement. We should never forget the Constitution wasn't written to restrain citizens' behavior. It was written to restrain the government's behavior. Senator Paul's love for the American people and the Constitution is obviously motivated by hate. And the man whose secrets are most at risk of being exposed by Senator Rand Paul is in the news once again. Dr. Fauci, this time by way of Professor Peter Hotez, who published a paper in the PLOS Biology Journal where he called for all criticism of Dr. Fauci to be designated as a federal hate crime. The people who criticize Dr. Fauci, is it because they love to inflict criminal hate on him, or because they hate the crimes he's committing against them? Well, Peter Hotez, who's a longtime recipient of funding from Dr. Fauci, since 1993 to be exact, thinks it's a hate crime. In completely unrelated news, a new bill is expected to be passed into law that would protect abusers from their victims, telling them to stop. If it does indeed pass, perhaps we can put an end to all this hate once and for all. We're interrupting your regularly scheduled program of breaking news to bring you even more broken news. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo has just announced he'll be resigning, while still refusing to admit that he's insanely guilty of sexually harassing multiple women. The White House is expected to suggest Bill Cosby as his suitable replacement. And there's a trampoline. Now back to you in the studio, JP. The Texas Democrats, who fled Texas to unlawfully hold up the state's legislative process, are now suing Texas Governor Greg Abbott for their hurt feelings, specifically for anxiety and embarrassment. The lawsuit seeks $5 in actual damages and $10 in punitive damages, which might seem low, but it is higher than the amount of integrity the fleeing Democrats have. Former President Barack Obama took a break from his busy schedule of running Biden from behind the scenes to throw a 600-person birthday bash for himself, which took place at his mansion built right on the sea, which will be underwater any minute now, unless they're lying to us about that. Obama received a lot of criticism as his 600 guests were maskless and unsocially distanced. Well, that's how normal, free humans function. It unfortunately doesn't match the draconian, fear-inducing narrative that Obama and the left are still trying to get people to buy into. This just in! Leaders who always try to scare you rather than inspire you don't care about you. When some attendees posted photos of the freedom-based birthday bash, revealing all the carefree human connection happening, they were at least forced to delete them in order to protect the public from seeing the truth. At this point, we'd like to remind you to continue waiting for us to hand your freedom back to you. We're almost at the point where we're ready to do so. And if you hear any messages like, you don't have to wait, you're already free, That is dangerous misinformation rooted in far-right extremism, constitutional rights. A female prisoner in a California all-women's prison has become pregnant by another female prisoner. This comes after California passed a law in January allowing biological males to be placed in women's prisons if they identify as a woman. No questions asked, even if they're going to prison for brutally sexually assaulting women. This just in! Relying on the honesty of convicted felons makes you a dumb person. So far, 20 biological males have been placed into California's women's prisons. And it's a great policy, really a progressive law. I mean, flawless when you look at it. The only problem that we can see is that for some reason, women are sexually assaulting other women in prison now and getting them pregnant. I just don't know what's wrong with women today and why they would do that. That's it for today's news. Please tune in tomorrow so we can help you forget you're already free and you don't need anyone else's permission to be what you already are. It'll be great. Good night. What's up, my friend? Thank you for being part of the freedom movement with me. And if I could have one ask, it would simply be to join my Awakened Warrior newsletter. It's free, and what it does is ensures that you and I stay connected in the face of ever-growing censorship, where you and I get to speak behind the scenes, and should there be any kind of deplatforming, it ensures that we get to stay connected because we want to be connected. There's all kinds of other perks with it. So if you want, please join me on my Awakened Warrior newsletter. Just go to awakenwithjp.com/join me. I'll see you behind the scenes.